Hello everyone, my name is Hitesh Gupta and as many of you know, I am a RCIC based in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. This video is going to be long, so I have divided this video in chapters. If some of you want to go to a particular chapter and listen to it, you are most welcome to do that. So in this video, we are going to talk about an internal memo about which you might have heard from your family or friends. There are many channels who are talking about that and I do not know why such a gloomy picture is being presented. Yes, part of that memo is true. The processing time thing which has been discussed in memo is true, but the way it has been presented, the other information, that is not correct. So I'll be discussing everything which is in that memo and I'll be discussing that in this particular order. I'll be discussing first the three takeaways from the internal memo. Takeaway 1, takeaway 2, takeaway 3. Then I will be discussing about the reasons for inventory. Many of you might have watched my previous video as well, in which I discussed about 1.8 million backlog. I'm going to discuss the reasons for the same inventory. In the next chapter, I'll be discussing about processing time truth and will be providing a clarity, as in it came to my knowledge that many people are saying that those applicants who already have their application, like who have already got their ITA but their application has not been processed yet, their applications will be cancelled. So I'm going to talk about the truth behind that news. Then I'll be discussing about memo versus the real picture in 1, 2, 3 parts. After that, I'll be giving you a conclusion. And in the last chapter is my final takeaway of this particular memo. So without wasting any time, let's get started. In this chapter 1, we'll be discussing about the summary takeaway 1. Right now, as you can see on your screen, that I have displayed that memo. And in this, you can clearly see that this internal memo has been requested by IRCC from Ministry for managing FHS inventory. So right now, first I want to tell you what is FHS. FHS basically means Federal High Skilled Streams. And in this FHS, 3 streams come, that is Federal Skilled Worker Program, Federal Skilled Trade Program, and even Canadian Experience Class. So this is not just about FSW. This is also about CEC and FST as well. So there are many people who are giving reference of this memo against FSW. So to clear the doubt, this memo is for FSW as well as CEC. Now let's again go back to the screen. It is written that IRCC is asking the decision from the ministry regarding the extension of a pause on FHS rounds, that is FSW, FST and CEC rounds from November 1, 2021 to Jan 31, 2022 based on large inventories and limited level space. So this also explains as well that why we haven't seen CEC draw as well since last some months, because a pause was placed on CEC draws as well. So through this memo, IRCC is asking directions from the ministry that whether this pause should be extended or not. Regarding the second takeaway from this memo, as you can see on your screen, this second point is related to the large number of inventory which is right now with IRCC and it affects on the processing times. We all know that IRCC has 1.8 million backlog. There are a lot of cases which are pending. So that same thing has again been mentioned in this memo. So that is something which is not new. Regarding the third takeaway, as now we can again see on the screen, it discusses about the large number of inventory which is pending in FHS stream, that is Federal High Skilled Stream, at the end of 2021, and how it says that the inventory is sufficient enough to meet the admission targets for next year and also the admission target for multi-year level plan of 2022 to 2024. Okay, so there is a catch in this phrase. It is true that this phrase has talked about a large number of inventory in the 3 streams, but then there is one stream which is missing from this memo and we are going to talk about that stream as well. So in rest of the memo, the background picture has been explained. Now, many of you might be thinking that why there's such a huge inventory with IRCC when FSW draws has not even happened since last 1 year. I'll tell you the reason for that. The reason for that is that because of the restrictions, because of the COVID pandemic, many restrictions were placed, many travel restrictions were placed in many countries, due to which IRCC stopped taking out FSW draws. Therefore, to manage the particular situation, IRCC launched many temporary streams, one of which is TR to PR pathway program, in which many applicants were invited. And due to all those applicants, and at that time CEC draw was also happening, the end result is that lot of applications have been accumulated at IRCC's end. As you can again see in the memo, that reference has been given that all this was done, that this new pathway was done to support the target of 2021. So this doesn't mean that FSW has been stopped or FSW will be scrapped. That is not the meaning of this memo. IRCC has just explained its position, which many of you, I bet, might have known for a long time, that IRCC is backlogged. Many of you are already waiting in the express entry pool and have a slight idea about how the things are working at IRCC end, how IRCC is not inviting FSW candidates since long. So there's nothing new in this memo which you may have discovered today. It is also true that we may see lesser FHS, federal high skilled candidates, being invited due to TR to PR pathway and resettlement of Afghan nationals, but that surely again doesn't indicate towards stopping of FSW, and I do not know why people are taking that reference from this particular memo. Now, one thing which is new in this memo, which we have come to know about, is the processing time for PR applications. And please remember, this processing time is only for permanent residence applications. This processing time is not for other applications, not for temporary applications like study permit application, visitor visa application, spousal open work permit application. So all those applicants who have already applied under those streams, they need not worry, because this memo is not about you. There's again lot of misinformation going on that, you know, SOWP applications will be cancelled. That's not true. And also what I have heard or what I have seen on social media is that there's this misinformation also being spread that the current set of applicants who already had an ITA from IRCC, their applications will be cancelled. Trust me, that has not been announced in this memo, and that is also not the intention of IRCC. Why will IRCC cancel your application if you have been issued an ITA? And again, as you can see in this memo, the reason why you're facing such a delay is because of the processing time. According to this memo only, the current processing time for FSW, CEC, FST applications is currently around 20.6 months, which is 3 times higher than the average processing time of 6 months. And this memo also explains about the expected processing time, which it says might be 3 years in coming time for FSW candidates. But then let me please tell you that once you receive an ITA, your credentials are locked at that date. So this processing time does not affect your score, but yes, it might affect you psychologically. That is true. But then this time will also come down when IRCC will start processing the backlog applications. And it has again also been announced that IRCC may think about conducting FSW draws once the backlog reach half of the current volume. So we can try to be positive about that. So this was the complete summary of this memo. There's nothing new in this memo which you or I might not have known about, but now I will try to present 3 instances in which how this memo is being interpreted is completely wrong compared to the real picture. Now many are referring to this memo when they are saying that FSW draws will stop happening or they will not be happening for next considerable amount of time. So to clear that, let's go to the first point of this memo, in which it is clearly mentioned that IRCC is asking for extension, which basically means a request has been made and no decision has been taken upon it yet. Nobody knows what decision has been taken. It may be true that extension will be given because of the current backlog, but then no line in this memo indicates that FSW is getting scrapped or FSW will not happen ever again. The second real picture which I want to present versus this memorandum is that many are saying Canadian immigration system will stop inviting outland candidates. For all of them and for your information as well, please remember that this memo also clearly mentions that bi-weekly PNP draws will happen. No stop has been placed on bi-weekly PNPs, and many of you might also remember this, and we are also covering in our videos that at the moment many PNPs are inviting FSW candidates as well. You might remember a few days back I published a video in which I discussed how FSW candidates who had a particular CRS between 464 to 467 were invited by Ontario. This has also been the case with Alberta, and in case of Alberta, even candidates who had a CRS above 300, they are also being invited. The only requirement of that is your knockout should be in demand of those provinces, and there are many other provinces who are also picking up candidates from express entry pool. So whosoever is saying that outland candidates do not have any future in Canadian immigration system, that is not true, because that is not based upon factual data. Factual data states that Ontario, Alberta and other provinces are inviting FSW candidates as well. So that is the second misinformation which I wanted to clear about this memo. The third misinformation about memorandum versus real picture which is being propagated is that this memo is being taken as the final verdict on Canadian immigration. So let me tell you in respect to that, when this memo was made, it was made on November 2021, and in this memo only, as you can see on your screen, that it is written that estimated 207,000 candidates in express entry pool by 2021 end are expected. But now let me tell you the real picture. There was one PNP draw which happened on Jan 2022, the results of which are right now on your screen. On this screen, you can clearly see when we scroll down to the end that the total number of applicants in the pool on January 17, 2022 are 196,685, which is way lesser than 207,000 applicants. So that clearly shows that not everything written in this memo is the final verdict. This memo is based on the estimation of the people who have prepared this memo. This memo is not something which can be taken as an example for passing a verdict on Canadian immigration system. As you have yourself seen that this memo states that 207,000 applicants are expected to be in the express entry pool, but the reality is far from that number. The reality is 196,685 candidates. So the only thing I can say is please don't lose hope. So I want to conclude this video by saying that I'm neither trying to show you a rosy picture, but then also I'm not trying to show you a gloomy picture. See, whatever I'm discussing with you at this moment is based on the factual data. As you can yourself see that this memo was just a request being made to the ministry seeking extension on pause of federal high skilled stream, which also includes CEC. This memo is not solely related to FSW. This is also related to CEC and FST, and many of you know CEC is Canadian Experience class, and it also affects those applicants who are inside Canada having 1 year of Canadian experience. So this memo does not solely deals with FSW. Also based on the factual analysis I have also shown in the second memorandum versus real picture is that presently as well many provinces are picking up candidates from express entry pool. The recent example is Ontario, when it picked up candidates having CRS of 464 to 467. So whosoever says that outland candidates do not have any future in Canadian immigration system, that's not true, because that is not supported by facts. The third thing which I have tried to show in this video is that not everything written in this memo is true. It is based on estimations, as I have again showed you based on the factual data, that this memo said that 207,000 applications will be pending by 2021 end, and when we see the results of Jan 17, a lot lesser applications were there. So I will just tell you this, that I will never put out a video having a fancy heading that FSW is stopped, Canadian immigration system is in ruins, and etc etc etc. What I do is present the factual data in front of you so that you can analyze on your own that who is telling you the truth. So the final takeaways which you can take away from this memo and this video is that we all knew that whenever FSW would have started, the score would have always been high, because FSW hasn't happened for the last 1 year. We always knew that provinces are picking up FSW applicants from express entry pool, and many of you have even got that invitation, and I know this because many of you have contacted me after receiving their Ontario invitation. So I would only say that you should not be disheartened after seeing this memo or after listening to the interpretations provided in respect to this memo. This is not something new. This is what we always knew. Right now, what you can do is to think of the ways that how you can supplement your score, how you can increase your chances of coming to Canada and getting permanently settled here, because immigration is surely not going to stop for people who want to immigrate to Canada. So in the same context, I would say if you would have any questions regarding your profile, if you want to discuss your profile with us, please feel free to contact us. All the links are there in the description box. And even if you have any questions regarding this memo, any questions, confusions or queries, then also please feel free to reach out. For today, this is it. I'll surely see you in the next video, and do not forget to like, subscribe and share our channel.